सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि
Now invite our respected principal ma'am to address the gathering. Okay. Next, I now request Dr. J. Radha ma'am, IQAC coordinator and head of the PG Department of Commerce, to deliver the welcome address.
Ma'am, I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Krishnaswamy College, I extend a warm welcome to today's workshop on academic administrative audit, a benchmark for quality enhancement in higher education. We are honored to have with us our resource person, Mr. Piyush Pagade, President, IQAC Cluster, India. Welcome, sir. A saddest privilege to have with you, sir. I also warmly welcome our principal, faculty members who have joined us today. With great enthusiasm, let us begin this workshop and gain valuable perspective on the role and methodologies of academic and administrative audits in ensuring quality, sustenance, and enhancement in higher education. Once again, I extend a warm welcome to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I request Ms. D. Radha ma'am, Assistant Professor and Assistant IQAC Coordinator, PG Department of Computer Science, to introduce our esteemed chief guest.
Good afternoon. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Piyush Manohar Pahade, President of IQAC Cluster India. Sir is an accomplished academician with over 35 years of teaching experience. He retired as the head of the Department of Zoology at Haribai V. Desai Arts, Science and Commerce College, Pune, where he also served as IQAC coordinator for vast 10 years and held additional responsibilities as vice principal and principal during his tenure. He is a recipient of the Best Teacher Award by the Pune Kelvani Mandal in 2012, a testimony to his dedication in education. A prolific trainer and mentor, he has conducted more than 1,200 sessions on soft skills for students, teachers, and the community as a certified soft skills trainer of Savitrabai Phule, Pune University. He has also authored over 10 books in zoology, biology, and biotechnology and has prepared several supporting manuals on NAC, AQAR, and quality benchmarks in higher education. Through the IQAC cluster, he has offered over 50 short-term courses and trained more than 1 lakh teachers, principals, and IQAC coordinators across the country on NAC process, quality policies, and institutional best practices. Currently, he is associated with more than 4,000 institutions nationwide, mentoring them in academic and administrative audits, institutional quality enhancement, and innovative teaching learning processes. With such a remarkable journey dedicated to academic excellence and quality enhancement in higher education, it is indeed our honor to have him with us today. Once again, I warmly welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. And now the much awaited moment has arrived. Let us engage our minds and gain valuable insights from our distinguished guest. Sir, we hand over the session to you.
Thank you so much. Respected Principal Madam, respected management of the college, and my dear teachers. It is a pleasure to have this session with you, primarily because this is a job that teachers have decided. Whenever audits came into picture several years ago, it was the teacher who said that what I am doing, whether it is right or wrong, How do I know it? How do I know that what work I am doing, whether it is acceptable or not acceptable? I think it is okay, but does it mean that it is really okay? I think I am doing it good, but does it really mean I am doing good? And therefore, in Australian region and later on in New Zealand also, some teachers started inviting the teachers of other universities. They were senior teachers and who were requested to check out the things. Today, audits are a part and parcel of our life. Even we, as an individual in the house, we keep on auditing ourselves. When a lady prepares her meal and serves it to the family, she on her own first checks whether the food is okay or not. This is a kind of an auditing. She expects feedbacks. How was the food today? If no one answers it out, then in that case, she will tell that how was the food, tell whether the food is okay or not. We are actually talking about the feed. We are actually talking about an auditing process. So audits are a day-to-day regular part. Let me give you one more example. After we complete 40 years of our age, we go for a medical checkup. We say, oh, it's a 40 plus checkup. It doesn't mean that I have any disease. But it definitely means that I need to be very careful in the future. Doctor tells you, oh, the cholesterol is rising, increasing. That doesn't mean that you have blood pressure. But it indicates that tomorrow you may have a blood pressure. Doctor makes a mention saying that, random sugar is increasing. It doesn't mean you have diabetes, but it means that you need to be careful with respect to sweet that you're eating every day. Doctor asks us a few pertinent questions, whether you exercise. It means you need to exercise. So here you're able to see an audit is not because you are into an emergency. An audit is not because you are having a problem. An audit is because you should not have a problem. An audit needs to be done so that in case we are having any problem, we can think about it, we can understand it. An audit is primarily because sometimes we are unable to understand where we stand. At that time, someone is able to guide you that perhaps this is the area where you need to improve a lot. It is this reason why we need to audit ourselves. I know there are so many people, where did I spend my money today? They think about it. How much did I spend today? Did I spend it online or did I spend it in cash? The other day I met a person who said that I don't use online tools. I said, why? What happened? He said, no, they are very good. But I have cut down and I spent in cash so that I understand how much money I am spending. Otherwise, when it goes to an online mechanism, I don't understand, I spend it. So I know how much money I have taken in my pocket. I know how much money I have spent and I know how much money has remained. What is this? This is auditing. This is auditing yourself. So you can have a self audit, which is called as an internal audit. Or you can also have an external audit. So audits can be of both types, internal and external. We need to conduct both kinds of audits. But I need to know whether I am delivering properly or not, whether my results are okay or not, whether my students are really understanding or not, whether the kind of infrastructure that we are providing to the students is sufficient or not. What is my strength? What are my weaknesses? What are the challenges that are coming out? Am I capable to handle them? How do I become capable? All these questions start coming up when we go for an audit. These are the questions that we need to have and ask ourselves when we go for an audit. So you find so many kinds of audits. Government keeps on auditing a variety of things. Structural audit. The other day I was talking to a friend of mine whose husband is on a ship. So she was saying, sir, you conduct very nice sessions. My husband makes some mention of, is your husband a professor? He said, no, he's not a professor. He works on a ship. I said, what does he do on the ship? He's an auditor. He audits the ships. The other day I received a package from Amazon. I said, I had not ordered it. It was some tissue paper rolls. I said, I don't need these. He said, do you have ordered it? I said, I haven't ordered it. He said, you keep it because otherwise I have to answer it in the audit. I had been to one of the finest hotels last month in Patna, Chanakya or something like this. And something was not well, so I commented on it. He said, sir, please see to it that it is sorted out. I have sorted it out. Please give me a feedback on that. I said, why? It comes in the audits. I'm just trying to tell you. See, many years ago, I had a Maruti car. I went and gave it for the repairs, and it wasn't cleaned properly, and my problem wasn't sorted out. I tried to ask them why this has not been done properly. And he said, no, it's late now, and so you can come again tomorrow. And my man has worked it out. I filled up the feedback form. And the next day I had a call, sir, you get the car. You don't even get the car. I will send a man. I will get the car. I will wash it properly. And before they could call, there was a call from Delhi. Say, what is the problem? You have given only 1 out of 10. We don't accept it. I say, whether you accept it or don't accept it, my work is not solved. Within next half an hour, someone from the shop came, workshop came, took my car, took it out, repaired it, cleaned it, value added it by some polishing, or said, sir, this is free for you, but please give a good review. What I'm trying to tell you is things are changing very fast. You go to any shop, he tells me, sir, please give me a review on Google. Why on a Google when we are talking about a feedback? Because it is going to be audited. I'm just trying to tell you the world is changing very fast. And we think so, what we are doing is fantastic. But we don't know what is happening outside with respect to us. What is it that my student is talking about me, about my institution? I don't know. For this job, IQSC is there. IQSC is the ears, nose, eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin of the institution. There is a big difference between IQSC and all other committees. IQSC gives inputs to the management, to the principal, to the heads, to the vice principals. And all other committees work on the on the suggestions given by the management, principal, and others. So IQC gives inputs, whereas all other committees get an output from the management or from the principal. This is the big difference between IQAC and all other committees, making IQAC a very important committee. And it is the job of IQAC to see to it that audits are done. If audits are done, then in that case, you are able to see the institution has a better chance to improve. So with this brief introduction about what are audits and why are audits important, let us look into the presentation and then into the format. Yeah. Just one. Just 1 minute. Okay. Just 1 minute. Here I need to put it first on the Google Drive and then I can show it to you. This is new to me. Just 1 minute. I will need time over here. Is there any other way by which you can directly take it to share screen?
Sir, there is a...
Yeah, got it.
Click for the camera icon.
Yeah. Can you see the screen now?
No, sir.
Can you see the screen now? You're not able to see.
No, sir, it's not visible.
We're saying it is share screen is to be seen. Relatively new to it. It's after a long time I'm using the screen here.
Otherwise, you can send me your file, sir. I'll share it from
here. Yeah, let me just try once.
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
It
yes,
is
sir,
visible.
Now we can see. It is visible.
Thank you. So, well, when we start checking ourselves, we start becoming better. If somebody is showing a fault in me, and if I'm ready to listen to it, there's a better chance that I may improve, provided the one who's talking is very sensible. So auditing is checking yourself. It's a pathway to excellence. It's a way by which you can ensure quality. You can work on the suggestions. Working on the suggestions is compliance. And completing the suggestions and improving leads to continuous improvements. When you're talking about this, an academic audit is a faculty-driven model of an ongoing self-reflection. See the word self-reflection, that is, I am checking myself. Peer feedback, that is, friends are giving me some suggestion. Collaboration and teamwork based on structured conversation to improve educational quality processes. It means there is a structure, there is a format. You're checking yourself through that particular format to improve educational quality processes in teaching, learning, and therefore to improve the students. Something very important is it's a continuous process in teaching and learning leading to student success. This is a definition given by Tennessee Board of Regents. Now, then what is the audit? As I made a mention, it is a structured evidence-based evaluation process. Structured because there is a format. This process systematically evaluates the academic and administrative functions. So it is an audit. This process goes for continuous quality improvement, and thereby it maps up with the standards that have been given. And also, it is a diagnostic tool. It's a way to check. It is not an inspection fostering a culture of excellence. It is a diagnostic tool. It means it checks things. Inspection is just looking at things. Diagnosis is evaluating and taking an action on it. Inspection is just looking at it. Maybe giving a suggestion. But in an audit, not only a suggestion comes, an action also comes, making academic and administrative audit a very different kind of aspect. So it is structured, it is evidence-based, then you are able to see it is a systematic tool, it evaluates academic and administrative functions, it's a continuous process, and it's a diagnostic tool. So if these are the four aspects that I have talked about, I will like to hear from you. I'm going to ask you, I want you to come in the chat box. I request all of you to come in the chat box. Please tell me what are the 4 points that I have told you and in the sequence. Yeah. Please, I want the team to, because this is going to be the base on which the rest of the things are going to come in. Yeah, your comments are welcome. What is the first point that we have talked about? Yeah. Will you like to try, all of you? Yeah. Can you come to the chat box and all of you please answer? What is the first point that I have put up? What is
Participant, please post your answers in the chat box,
in
the
the
comment
chat
section.
box? So that we need to be active now. I'm not able to see others. And maybe they are not on the screen. Yeah, okay.
They
It's
are posting.
Swapna ji has made a mention of it is evidence based, it is systematic, it's a continuous process, it's a diagnostic tool. Fantastic. Swapna ji, you have actually given all the details in just one stroke. So it's evidence based. So thank you so much. It is evidence based, it is systematic, it is continuous, and it is a diagnostic tool. I will keep on asking questions because that's the way we can understand what is going on ahead. So I want more and more people to participate, and I will keep on watching out who all are participating. That gives me immense fun, and I would like to have your questions also later on. Yeah. So here we come back to our presentation now. So, well, I think so. Presentation is to be seen. I'll need
Yes,
a
sir.
feedback.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. It's
fine.
visible.
Yeah. Second part is, what is the scope of the audit? Curriculum, of course, pedagogy, teaching tools, that will be checked. The heart of the of academics happens to be assessment. So the second point happens to be evaluation, fairness, effectiveness, and outcome based, and its analysis is the second part that comes into picture. So we have curriculum, we have assessment. Then I have taught, I have checked, but have they succeeded? So success. So it could be progression, it could be jobs, it could be something more than that, achievements, overall development. All this would come into the third part that would be checked out. Then what is it that we are doing? So departmental activities, research, innovation, industry outreach, student mentoring, all these aspects will be the next part that you are able to see. So primarily, whether we are good in academics, if we are good in academics, are we assessing how our academics is? If we have assessed them, how is its impact on the student, and what plus are you doing? And all this is being governed. How is it being governed? Now, this is the way an audit would be done. So, in current new NAC, it is expected that in attribute 7, audits are mandatory, compulsory. Okay. And they are going to come with institutional development plan, that is IDP. Now, how will the audit be? That's how it works out. Number one, it is going to take care of, it is going to be in respect to the governance policies. What kind of governance do we have? How is the decision making? How is the institution transparent? What are the best practices of the institution? These are the areas that an academic audit would take, academic and administrative audit would look into. Because it starts with governance. If governance is not good, the rest of the things don't make any sense. Come on, your governance is checked out. What are the other parameters? How is the financial resource being used? And how are the physical resources being used? How is your infrastructure being used? How is your college being used? Whether the rooms are being used properly, whether the money is being used properly, whether the money is being spent at right places. What is the amount of money spent on library? What is the amount of money spent on infrastructure? What is the amount of money spent on maintenance? What is the amount of money spent on buying new things, on creating new infrastructure? This is whether it is optimal utilization of financial, human, and physical resources. That is where resource management comes into picture. This is okay. Then, how is your infrastructure? How is your IT infrastructure? How is your library? How are your laboratories? How is the maintenance component of it? That goes with support services. Then whether the students are getting any benefits, so student welfare comes into picture. So here you are able to see student support systems, student safety, student security, campus amenities, and whatnot. All that would come under student welfare. And lastly, how is your IQSC working? Whether it is playing a big role. Here you are able to see IQC plays a very, very important role. So you're able to see some very important parameter that I am talking about over here. Now let us go to the AAA process. The process begins with planning. Have you defined the scope? Have you formed an audit committee? Have you prepared a schedule? This is a very important part. Okay, you have done all this. Then how is the data collection taking place? Are you gathering the documents? Do you have surveys? Do you have feedbacks? Are you reaching each and every stakeholder? This data is going to, any audit is always data centric. Very often I find audits being conducted as how many tables, how many chairs, how many students, how many teachers. So it is only number of chairs, number of teachers, number of students, but number of books. But does it relate to anyone? That we don't understand. So if you have a data, then in that case, that data will be analyzed. Once you have the data, then comes the document, then the proof. So you need to verify the data and its content, check the numbers, the frequency, and whether the proper records are being provided. So you have number one, planning, number two, collection of data, collection of information. If I have the data, if I have the information, then in that case, what is happening with that information? Do we have the proofs? I am saying that all my students have passed. Do you have the proof? You say, yes, we have the proof. Then I say, at what percentage have they passed? And then you say 70% of students have got 40, between 40 to 45% of marks. Then you're saying 100% result hai na, that is fine. The result may be 100%, but are the students if benefited? No, the students are not benefited. Passing is not a criteria, achieving is a criteria. So therefore you are able to see document verification will come with proofs. So that entire aspect would be checked out, document will be checked. Maybe that peer team that comes for the auditing will talk to the teachers, will talk to the students, will have their own observations. They will talk to the principal, they will talk to the teachers, they will talk to the management, they will talk to the student, they will talk to the attendants. What are they doing? They are getting the perception of the institution. Once that is available, then what will they do? They will go for a reporting. They will do the document findings, strength, weakness, and opportunities. And then in that case, an action will be taken. So in other words, you're able to see it's a complete cycle where planning is followed by collection of data is followed by document verification is followed by assessment is followed by reporting is followed by action taken is followed by planning again. So academic and administrative audit is a continuous process. Academic and administrative audit would take place on a regular basis. Academic and administrative audit needs to be done every year. So this is the process flow that you are able to see. Now, if we are to go for an audit, it would of course and always go with respect to quality. So what are the quality principles? I need to define them. Define quality in terms of outcomes. If I am saying my students are extremely successful, how are you telling that they are successful? Is it how many have passed? Is it how many have got placed? Is it how many have gone for higher education? Is it how many of them have gone for some kind of government jobs? Is it what they have gone for their own businesses? How are you defining the outcomes? Okay, you have defined the outcome. Then what is the process? Tell the process. Then are you working in teams? So work collaboratively. Are you trying to be perfect? So are you working for coherence? Then, do you have the necessary evidences? Do you learn from the best practices? And do you keep on doing small changes and improving on a regular basis? That is where quality principles come into picture. And then how do I check it? Learning outcomes can be checked. Curriculum and co-curriculum can be checked. Teaching learning can be checked. Student assessment can be done, checked. In this way, you are able to say we have quality principles and we have focus areas. In these two ways by which you are able to analyze how the auditing is taking place. Now, what is to be considered for an academic audit? Very important. Number one, institutional vision, institutional mission, aims and objectives. I have a question to ask you now. The question is a little different one. I want you to help me. I want you to help me. Give me what your vision statement is in the comment box. And then your mission. Please give that vision and mission of the institution.
Participant, please post.
Yes, I want all of you to please participate. Yeah. Last time, the way you had given, last time, Jiva Rani ji has answered, Anu Balaji has answered, Lavanya has tried out. So you're able to see the answers coming in. Yeah. Please give me what is your vision mission statement. Vision and mission statement. There's a private chat that has come up. Okay. And okay. The co-coordinator has answered it out, but I will wait for it for the time being. What is it that people want to say? If they haven't, they need to go check it on the website and write it down. I want you to write down. But I have received a private chat which has told me what is your statement. Yeah. I'm waiting for people to answer.
Participants, please post the vision mission in the chat
Yeah.
box.
Come to the chat box, please answer it out. Yeah. I'm waiting for people to answer. Okay, yes, fine. Dr. Swapna has tried vision to be a center of excellence. Okay. Anything else? Okay, fine. The team is searching. We need to know our vision and mission. That is very important. Actually, this is what I'm just trying to say. We need to know our vision and mission. How can we work if we don't know what we intend to work for? Why the institution wants to work out? Here we have Dr. Radha has made a mention. Goals while being socially responsible citizens, women in every field of work. This was the goal. And Radhaji has made a mission in pursuing higher education with knowledge, skills, and values required to empower them, helps them to learn life skills, bestows a technology rich environment through a state of art computer laboratories, imparts a cultural and global awareness, fosters enriching partnerships with others that serves with the community, provides extension activities which help the students to dedicate themselves and deliver excellent service to the society. This is what has been mentioned out over here. Thank you so much, Dr. Radha. Now, here we are able to see Mr. VR or Miss VR, I don't know, empowering them to attain the desired goals is what has come in. Then Dr. Geeta Murugan has made a mention, impart a cultural and global awareness has come into picture. But we need to know our vision and mission statement. That's very important. Now, let us go ahead with this. I just wanted to ping you so that you are in touch now. So we have just 1 minute. Yeah, let me share. So we need to know what our institutional vision and mission happens to be. Point number one. Point then, for example, this is of an XYZ college. I will not take it out. The mission statement that you are able to see. So here able to, we can take this particular example also. For example, a college has to provide academic programs, services, facilities, and technologies with the realm of curriculum of the affiliating university that offers diverse opportunities for learning. Now, whatever vision that you have made a mention is what is going to get checked. So when you say academic, provide academic programs, how many academic programs are you giving? If you are going to talk about services, what are the services that are going to be offered? If you're going to talk about facilities, what are those facilities? And if you're going to talk about technology, what are those technologies that you are providing would come into picture. To recruit and retain diverse faculty of qualified educators, providing them with an environment to and an opportunity to flourish. So how are your teachers? How qualified are they? That is what would come into picture. For example, if I'm looking at this particular mission, to develop critical thinking, effective communication, and learning skills in the students. So, are there that kind of program that you're talking about? Is there, are there some kind of activity that have been conducted which talks about effective communication? Are you teaching any kind of learning skills? Are you developing the critical thinking in the students? How are you developing it out? What are the proofs that you need to give? To promote value of ethical behavior, social responsibility, and commitment, and to contribute to economic and societal development of India. How are you contributing? Are you giving funds to the colleges, to the government, or are you spending on the community? Or what are you doing is what would come into picture. Then you are able to see mission of the college. The college is to fulfill educational needs of culturally diverse students by achieving excellence in teaching, learning, and ultimately resulting in intellectual, personal, and professional success of its graduates. This is an example that I have given. Now, this vision and mission is going to be very important. Why? What is your vision and mission is going to be checked out. This is point number one. Then you are able to see institutional approach to quality assurance. How are you assuring quality? Definition of working quality is done by the organization. Are you defining the quality? Have you prepared a handbook? This is the thing that would be expected. Has a quality handbook been prepared? And is it with each department? This is the second point that comes in. Then, so are you handling your, do you know how to teach, how to take admissions, how to teach, how to conduct an examination? All that has been told out over here. Are you following it out? For which there is there a handbook? This is one point that comes into picture. Then what are the goals? What are the methods to achieve it? And how is the achievement measured? So do you have a benchmark? If I say 80% of our students have succeeded, then have you put a benchmark? 80% of students with more than 50% of marks, that is a benchmark that comes in. 80% is my benchmark, but 50% is also 50% of marks is also my benchmark that you are able to see. Then are there good governances enough? Do you have a good governance? You will say yes, we have a good governance. And do you have policies? Do these policies have processes? For example, a policy, it is a policy of academics. Then what are the processes? Classroom teaching could be one process. Outdoor teaching could be another process. Then there could be something that relates to the students who are not performing well. How are we dealing with them? What are we doing to them? Then how are the procedures? How is the implementation? And how are you bonded with the stakeholders? Very often we make a mention, our stakeholders don't value us. Stakeholders will not value the institution if the institution doesn't value the stakeholders. So a strategic plan, a short-term goals, long-term goals will come into picture. Then developing an organizational structure to improve communication, efficiency and effectiveness. It means that how is the communication within the organization that is going to play a very important role. Then how is the fund being managed out? Whether there is transparency, accountability, cost-effective programs, effective internal auditing mechanism to see to it that the money is used at a proper place. Are the programs relevant? Are the programs with good academic standards? Are the programs or academic activities ensuring award-winning programs of international, national, and local levels? This is what will be checked. So you're able to see a variety of things are going to be done over here. Now, how is the administration and management? The previous point was what? Just 1 minute. The previous point was, the first point was vision and mission statement. Okay. Then you are able to see the institutional approach to quality assurance. Point number 2. I'm going to ask you these questions. Point number 3. Administration and management. How is the administration and how is the management? How is the process of admissions? Are the admissions done with a proper policy? Do the students know how they are going to get admitted? Is there an equal opportunity cell? Do physically disabled students or others get a facility? Is there a student council? Give the necessary proofs of it. This is a big thing that comes into picture. Then what kind of welfare do you have? What kind of welfare schemes do you have? Do you have student welfare? Operational office for student welfare activity? Are students provided welfare services? For example, scholarships, fellowships, place to stay, etc., etc. And what is the evidence that you have? Give the proof of it. This is the third point that comes into picture. Then you are able to see, do you have necessary committees? Do you have CDC? Do you have IQSC? Do you have staff welfare? Do you have staff appointments taking place properly? Do you have staff development activities? It's not only about students, it's also about the staff. Whether all your stakeholders are happy, whether your stakeholders are benefited, that is what is being expected in an audit. So that is going to be checked out. Okay. Then we come to academics. How is the curriculum? Whether you have course outcomes and program specific outcomes, whether they are mapped. Second part. Then are they as per the needs of the student? How is the teaching and learning environment? Then what are the staff resources for a good teaching, learning and staff. What are the resources that are provided? Have you listed out those resources? Are you providing those resources? Then in that case, what are the learning resources, equipment, book, videos, internet access, libraries, etc., etc.? How are they? That is going to count out. Then are you providing any kind of support to students? Support in terms of advice, support in terms of counseling, support in terms of assistance, support in terms of additional support, support in terms of vocational guidance, support in terms of personal areas, fellowships and promotions in learning, are they there? Then whether any kind of remedial going on, bridge courses going on, tutoring is there, advanced learning is there. Can you tell me what is the difference between bridge, remedial, bridge, tutoring and advanced learning? Can you help me over here? I wish to know what is the difference between these four: remedial, bridge, tutoring and advanced learning. Remedial, bridge, tutoring and advanced learning. Can you please work it out on the comment section?
Participant, please post it.
Participants are requested to please answer. What is the difference between remedial, bridge? पहले इसको देखते हैं. What is remedial and what is bridge? I think so. You must be conducting remedial courses also and bridge courses also. What is the difference between a remedial course and what is the difference between a bridge course? Is somebody like to try it out? This is what we do on a regular basis. Will you please like to try it? Now, by the way, there was a question that had come from Dr. Radha. She had asked me what is the difference between a short-term goal and a long-term goal. Short-term goals are primarily the first component happens to be time. Second part is that implementation. Okay, here we have someone answering it out. A remedial course is for slow learners. Okay, a bridge program is for bridge is for what? Bridge is for bridge who? Course is for whom? Remedial is for slow learners. Okay, remedial is to improve students' performance. Bridge is to orienting through upcoming courses. Very true. Anubalaji has given a right answer over here. Remedial is for slow learners. Very true. Then you are able to see bridge is a course design. Bridge courses for freshers or for any orientation. Absolutely right. Remedial courses are students with finding difficult to understand a clear course. Very true. Then you are able to see bridge courses that prepare students for advanced study. For okay, fine. So bridging is primarily finding a gap between what is needed and what you are offering. Okay, Sunanda Murthy makes a mention. Bridge course is okay. There are answers. Bridge is for moving from low level to a higher level program. Mohana Ji makes a mention. Remedial foundational skill gaps. Remedial is foundational skill gaps. Okay, fine. That's fantastic. So you're able to see that we know now the difference between the remedial and that of bridge courses. Now tell me what is the difference between tutoring and advanced learning? What is tutoring and what is advanced learning? What is the big difference between tutoring and advanced learning? Okay, here Shahin Nisha also makes a mention of Bridge helps them to develop and understand their upcoming high level courses. What is the difference between tutoring and advanced learning? Can somebody help me out over here? Tutoring and advanced learning. Come on, come on, come on, quick, quick, quick. What is tutoring according to you? What is the big difference between advanced learning and tutoring? Okay, who does learning and who does tutoring? Can you try this? Can you tell? Actually, I have given you the answer. Who does learning and who does tutoring? Tutoring is guiding, so teacher tutors, right? And learning, who does learning? Savita ji has given, okay. Okay, tutoring is a personalized attention, okay. And what about learning? It has to build confidence, etc., etc. Absolutely right. Who does the learning part? Correct. Tutoring is step by step guidance. Who does the learning part? Can you tell me that? So, what is the difference between tutoring and learning? Got it. Tutoring is helping the students. What about learning? Who does learning? Students do learning, teachers do teaching. This is what we are doing. So, tutoring goes with the teacher and learning goes with the student. Absolutely right. So, here you are able to see we are talking about all these areas. We are talking about, just 1 minute, let me share it out. Yeah. We are talking about remedial, bridge, tutoring, advanced learning. See, remedial is being provided by you, bridging is done by you, tutoring is done by you, but learning is done by the student. And how is this support given is what we are going to check out. Then preparing students for employment and competitive exams. So in other words, student support is a big aspect that you're able to see over here. Then we come to the next part. Student support is also a range of assessment methods used must be given with a reason and output. So you are auditing. So you have to tell how you are checking. If you are done assessments, how are they valid? How are they fair? How are they regular? How are they time bound? Student achievements and their attitudes are positive. So how are you creating such a kind of environment? And student access to examination systems, how are they? So in this, you are telling how your mechanisms are. Have you done any kind of reforms in examination? That is also going to be checked out. See, these are the areas where assessment is going to be done. Then how do you check it out? What are the performance indicators? How do I check what your performance is? So it would be learning outcomes that would be checked. Attainment of outcomes, whether you have attained those outcomes, that would be checked. Then quality control arrangements. How is the institution checking out the quality of the institution? For example, I have a teacher who has not passed, completed her graduation, and I have a teacher who has completed net and set or a PhD. There is a better chance that the one who has completed his PhD is likely to teach better. Then you are able to see what are the arrangements at institutional and departmental level for quality, and what are the quality standards, what are the policies and strategies. They are consistent, periodically applied and reviewed. So it means you have written down your quality measures and you are going to check them out. This is what it means out. Then we come to research. Whether you have a research policy, answer is yes. Whether you are working as per the policy, the answer is no. Whether you have a research policy, whether you are promoting research, whether you have funds for research, then how is the industry related work going on with respect to research? Do you have any collaborations? What are the outcomes? That is what you are able to see in case of research. Then what is the extension activity? That is community work that you have done. So what kind of extension activity do you see? A community service and a good citizenship. Then students in the community services with and without NSS. For example, do you have NSS? Do you have NCC? Are they working for the community? And community advantage to students and learning. So you are able to see a community over here, teachers teaching, and there are some common men also sitting down. That's the way you are able to see this basic auditing goes on. Then there are two types of audits. The first type of audit happens to be an internal audit. The internal audit is done by IQAC. The internal audit is for self-assessment, to check preparedness, identify low-hanging fruit of improvement. That means if there is no improvement, what can I do? If there is improvement, how can I harvest it out? Frequency can be half yearly, can be annually. So IQAC needs to analyze at least once a year. Then you have an external audit. The external audit is with the people who are not from the organization. They are independent peers and experts from other institutions. Then purpose, objective validation to check out benchmarking and preparation of national accreditation. So when you are doing an internal audit, you may go with a benchmark or you may not go with a benchmark. But when you're doing an external audit, you have to go with a benchmark. That's what it means. Then normally around accreditation, you will always find with respect to accreditation, an external audit takes place. So when it's a 3-year cycle, you need to have 3 external audits taken place and at least 3 internal audits that have been done over here. This is an important aspect that I wanted to make a mention of. Then what are the core objectives of having this audit? Number 1, to evaluate the effectiveness, to assess quality, and to impact of all core processes. Then second, to ensure alignment, that is verify the activities are in sync and institutional goals, etc. are being matched up. Then drive improvement. Okay, create an improvement in the system and promote accountability to foster a sense of ownership. Now we are going to take one example over here. I want all of you to please participate. Assume so that an class test has been conducted. Situation there, I'm giving you a situation. A class test has been conducted. A class test has been conducted. How will you check the effectiveness of your test? Can you tell me? How will you check the effectiveness of the test? Will you like to try? You can even unmute yourself and talk directly. I think so this process is taking time because it goes to YouTube. Yeah.
Participants, if you want, you can post in the comment section that if you want to talk, we will switch on.
Yeah, please, if you wish to talk, I request you to talk. Okay. Yeah. How will you assure the effectiveness of your test? Point number 1. I want to see that my examination that I have conducted is effective. How will I check the effectiveness? Will you like to try? I want everyone to try. How will you check the effectiveness of the examination? What will you do so that your exam becomes effective? Can someone try? I want you to talk, please. Okay. Based on the performance of the students. Means what? Savitaji has made a mention based on the performance of the students. I am telling you that I allowed the students to copy and everybody got 100 marks. Is it effective? Analyzing the test result. Okay. What more can be done to make it effective? This is okay. Analyzing the test result. How can I make it effective? How well the students have understood the questions and answered accordingly. Very nice. Can you tell me what could be a numerical mechanism to check it out? Assess reliability. Okay, but how are you going to check the reliability? You only have to decide, na? Outcomes. Okay, so I am saying that I allowed students to copy. I have no issues, and they all got 100 marks. Everybody has got out of marks. So then, in that case, does that mean that I am a very effective teacher? The answer is no. So how do you check the effectiveness? Case-based study. Okay. How will you check the effectiveness? I want you to answer the questions.
Uh, Maybe the number of students or absenteeism.
Number of students.
Participating in that exam.
If it is
Absenteeism.
compulsory, it would be 100%. Now, see, there can be some question that would go whereby they are being checked analytically. You have talked about, you must have heard about something called as COPO mapping. You must have talked about course outcomes. Now, when you have given questions of higher course outcomes, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 or so, that time you are able to see, you are asking them difficult questions. Are they answering it? This is one way of effectiveness, checking out the effectiveness. Second part could be giving a rubric that this is the way I expect an answer. That could also lead to an effectiveness. You are making them think how best should I write down. So it is not only giving them an examination, it is also making them think how are you going to write down the examination. What is it that I expect in your answers? I am not talking about the answer part of it. I am talking about the framework. If it's a long answer question, I expect 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's a short answer, I expect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then in that case, you are clearly telling your expectations. If you are giving your expectations, then in that case, the student will understand how do I write down the assignment or how do I write down the examination. That is where you are able to see the the effectiveness of the system would come into picture. And we have tried to evaluate the effectiveness. Then uh, then how do you know ensure the alignment that they are aligned to the subject? Can you try this? Tell me, an exam is being conducted, how well are they aligned to the questions? Today I was on LinkedIn and I was looking at a particular, someone had commented, he commented that yes, cognitive level, Mohanaji makes a mention of it, absolutely right. How are you, the cognitive level is going to be matched out, very nice, that's a good answer. Hana Lakshmiji makes a mention of it. Then well, let me know, how are you going to promote accountability in the students? So, with respect to examination, how will you make them accountable? That they have, it is one part is that they have, it is compulsory. This is one part. But how do I be accountable to the examination? How can that be assessed? Can anybody help me out over here? How can I make the student accountable for my examination or for his examination? See, we are telling you have to sit, so they are coming and sitting. But I am not telling them that you come and sit, but they are coming and sitting. How do you bring that accountability? Any example that can be tried out? Come on, try. Will somebody like to try this? We are going to come out with the checklist. We are first taking a presentation over here, after which we'll be going to the checklist. Radhaji has made a mention of checklist, so we are going to go for a checklist. We are first trying to think what an audit happens to be. What are the parameters of an audit? So this first part is going to be a little thoughtful process, and then we will be going to the what is to be done and how it is to be done and what is the question. Definitely we'll be going for that. Okay, so here you are able to see when an audit is being done, there are a lot of things that are going to come into picture, is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, let's go ahead. We are coming to the close to the two of the physical presentation, after which we'll be looking into the key and the list. So here I'm just trying to share some things so that just 1 minute. Yeah. Then you're able to see what are the parameters for academic audit. For example, deliberately I have taken previous snack, curricular aspect, teaching, learning, evaluation, research, innovation, infrastructure, student support, student progression, governance, best practice. This was the previous one. You can even have it that way. This is one part that comes into picture. Then you're able to see that academic and administrative audit is not an event. It's a part of the culture. You have to prepare for it. We are going to see how the questionnaire comes. We are going to talk about the questionnaire. I just wanted to tell you what this is. So it is an effort that you have to take. It is a culture that you have to bring. It is a culture by which you are going to check yourself. You are going to ask your others to check. Please tell me what more I can do. I remember there were teachers in my college who used to say, "Are Piyush, please come and sit in my lecture hall. Please listen to me. Please tell me how I can improve out." And we also used to go and tell principal, sir, are you free? Can you please join my lecture? And the person used to come. So here you are able to see the seniority experience would get delivered. You're taking this session very nicely, but then you're taking this lecture very nicely, but this needs to be added. So that addition is where you are coming up with a culture. It is not that somebody is coming and checking you. The principal has come in your room and she has sat over there. And then you are saying, oh, she came and she checked my lecture. So it's not so. It is, can you improve? This is one part. And for which academic and administrative audit is a very powerful mechanism for sustainable growth and excellence. So together, that is teachers and the organization and the stakeholders can build more responsive and higher quality education in the institution. This is what you're able to see with respect to academic and administrative audit as a general presentation first, so that we get an idea as to what is going to happen. And then in that case, we'll like to take your questions and answers, and then we will actually now be going for the key that we are going to look into. But before that, do you have any questions and answers? Do you have any ideas to suggest? We are going to go for the session now.
Participants, you can post your questions in the chat box, please.
Any question that you have?
So
Anything
can
that
you? So I have a question here. Can you tell some of the important benchmarks or the key indicators that can be used to, measure quality in the academic and administrative audits? Sir? Some of the
we are
key
coming to
benchmarks.
I'm going to show you the format itself, where you will be able to see the benchmarks also. For example, when I make a mention, the percentage of admissions done, that time it is, let us say, 90%. If you have scored more than 90% of, taken more than 90% of admission, done more than 90% of admissions of your sanction strength, it's a benchmark that has been achieved. We have a long list of benchmarks which we are actually going to see. But otherwise, in general, if there is any question, we'll definitely look into it and then we'll be going ahead. I deliberately wanted to talk about in a presentation, and once that presentation is done, we'll definitely be looking into the actual format of the academic and administrative audit. We'll also be looking into benchmarks, and we'll also try to see how the report looks like. This will start in 5 minutes. But before that, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, then once we go to that, we'll be looking there. There we'll be having a good number of questions, because this is still a little hypothetical. What is quality? The quality is hypothetical. What quality to me is not quality to you. So once we start benchmarking it out, then we will know what the quality is. Second part, I don't think I told you last time, but quality has three aspects. When we look at the quality, we look at the quality as a pyramid. There's a top, there's a middle part, and there's a bottom. So quality at the top is called as assurance, quality assurance. Therefore, we have internal quality assurance cell. Quality from the top is assurance. For example, when I make a mention saying that um, a research policy, when I talk about policy, policy goes with the top. If I say research policy, then research policy is designed by IQAC and the heads of the department. That means what? It has been designed by the top. Then comes what? Quality assurance comes from the top. Then comes sustenance. It is at every level. After
Sir,
that,
is it
what?
mandatory?
Enhancement. Let me just complete these three. And then comes quality enhancement. Enhancement comes from the bottom. You have prepared a quality policy. That policy makes a mention saying that every teacher will produce 2 research papers that can go into international journals, and they have gone in international journals. So initially it was only 1 research paper coming up per teacher. Now there are 2 research papers coming up per teacher per year. So here the quality has gone up. From where did it go? It went from the bottom of the pyramid. So that is enhancement. So you have quality assurance, quality sustenance, and quality enhancement. These are the three parameters which go with the audit. You were saying something, Radhaji.
So, what are the? There are some policies, as you were telling, sir. So, can you name, like, can you suggest some of the policies that actually the college should draft those policies, or it is mandatory, like
Yes,
admission
they are
policy, like that?
mandatory. For example, you have an academic policy. You need to have an admission policy. You need to have a research policy. You need to have a student support policy. You need to have a student progression policy. You need to have an alumni policy. You need to have a library policy. You need to have, something like, all these women and for policies for women, or you have an environment policy, you have a gender policy. Now this is exclusively a women's college, but then in that case also still a gender policy would still matter out. So you are able to, there are multiple policies that come into picture. Environment policy comes into picture. Then in that case you are able to see your how is your governance. So governance related policy would come into picture. Research related policy would come into picture. Infrastructure policy will come into picture. Your what do you say, digital infrastructure, or what do you say, that will be a separate policy altogether. IT policy, in other words, IT policy would come into picture. These are some very important policies that you need to do, and how you need to do. What you do is what needs to come into picture. For example, if I am talking about IT policy, is there are there components whereby IT is going to be, your IT infrastructure is going to be checked, how IT infrastructure is going to be increased. Then you are able to see what are the different tools of IT and that you are using, whether you have an ERP, whether you have, how is your office working out with IT, with the help of IT, how is your infrastructure doing with IT. All these components will come into picture. How are you evaluating them? That is going to come into picture. How are you going to grow it up is going to come into picture. These are the aspects that would be needed within a policy. So definitely, firstly, what you do, it needs to be jotted down. And second, then how it can be put into words. That's how it can come into picture. And then what are the gaps remaining and how they can be taken care. These are the three ways by which you can design your own policy. One part is that what you have, part one. Then how you work it out, part two. Number three happens to be how it can be made better. These are the three areas by which you can make up a policy in a better way. And we can always help you in terms of policy. So that was something in brief that I wanted to talk about, but now we'll actually go to the core part of the format. So uh, let's actually go to what is the format that comes into picture now here. Yeah, can you see the format, please?
Yes.
Yeah. We are now with the actual core format, which our organization has prepared. Part one comes out over here is that when have you conducted this particular audit? Secondly, how long is that audit? Normally, it is up to 1 year. And then, what is the next due date for audit? That is 1 year after that. That is what you are able to see. This is the first part that comes into picture. Then you are able to see the next part coming into picture. This is a manual. The audit is conducted under the regulations of. So this is the first part. Very often people say that we are conducting the audit, but under what are you conducting this audit? Those details need to come in. So here you are able to see under UGC, deemed universities, the regulations that you are able to see. Then under UGC promotion for academic integrity and to prevent plagiarism and regulations 2018. Then you are able to see para 22 or that IQAC will be established and necessary academic audits will be conducted. So these are the parameters that you are able to see under which the audit is being conducted. Number one. Then second part, what does it, what more does it include? It includes the NAC framework. It includes the UGC Act. It will also include the University Act that comes into picture. Then how will the audit be conducted? The audit will be conducted within, let us say, 1 month of time. Then the audit reports are based on the data provided by the institution in the person and in person. Or accuracy cluster is not responsible for incorrect data. The institution needs to follow the aspects given by the format strictly. And there will be 2 meetings. However, the institution can ask for more meetings if needs arise. This is the guideline that my organization is telling you. Ki bhai, agar aapko, if you want to do this, you need to see to it that these are the things that are going to get followed out by you. Then you are able to see what? Then you are able to see the basic details of the organization. What is the name of the trust? What is the name of the society? What is the address of the society? What is the phone number? What is the email ID? What is the year of establishment? Then name of the college or the institute. For example, a society may have 3 colleges. So name of the college and institute. Then what is the address? Then when was it established? Then what are the details? Give your telephone number, give your fax number, give your mobile number, give your organizational email ID, give the website address. These are the way by which we communicate. Then furthermore, to whom are you affiliated to? Number one, what is the affiliating university name? You will make a mention saying that Madras University. Then what kind of affiliation is it? Permanent, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. It's an old organization. So it's a permanent affiliation. Some courses may still be, new courses may take time, but otherwise the institution has a permanent affiliation. Then you are able to see UGC approval. Do you have 12B2F? Or you have only 2F, or you have only 12B, or you have nothing. And if it is so, what is the date on which you got it? This is the next part that comes in. What is the financial status of that institution? Whether it is a grant in aid, whether it is grant in aid and self-financing, or it is a self-financing institution altogether. This is the third part that comes in. Then what is the type of college that you're able to see? Oh, it's an affiliated college or it's an autonomous college. It's a women's college. It's a co-ed college. It's a urban college. It's a rural college. It's a tribal college. Whatever kind of college it is, you need to make a mention. Then what is the type of faculty program that you have? Whether you have arts faculty, commerce, science, BBA, BCA, engineering, pharmacy, education, etc., etc., etc. Whatever you have to write it down. Then whether there is a special status focused UGC, CSIR, DST, DBT, whatever it is, whatever is there, it will come in. Whether you are a part of DST star scheme, whether you are with a CPE, or you have anything other than that UGC schemes that you are able to see. If you have, you are going to say yes or no. Now, the most important part, why do you want to conduct an audit? So objectives of the audit are very important, and at least 3 objectives should be given. That we feel that the number is dwindling down. We feel that our academics is not going on properly. We feel that the placement needs to be done properly. So the auditor will check the institution accordingly. Then comes section 3, the important part. What is the governance structure and policies? Do you have an apex committee? I'm not talking about CDC. CDC is in Maharashtra, and most of us, majority of our colleges come from Maharashtra, so we have kept CDC. But there's there could be a management body, there could be some other council, there could be something that you are able to see. It's the mandatory committee. Whether you have it, yes. Whether you have SC, ST, and OBC cell, yes, you have it. Then, if you have it, give formation members, meetings, register relevant activities relating to the committee with action taken reports. Whether you have minority cell, whether you have internal committee complaints, whether you have RTI, whether you have research and innovation, whether you have purchase committee, whether you have IC recent certificate, any other relating to statutory regulatory authority, SRA. So what is it that you have? These are the mandatory committees. Do you have the documents of these committees or you don't have? This is what is being asked out. Then comes the next committee that is called as IQC committee. Then how many IQC meetings were held? What is the action taken initiatives? Then whether IDP has been prepared, whether follow-up meetings have taken place, whether AQR submission has taken place. So all these would go with the IQC. Then when we talk of accreditation, are you able to see NAC? Are you able to see NB? Are you able to, have you done NBA or have you done ISO, or whether you have done NIRF, whether you have done ATAL ranking, whether you have done any other ranking? Give the necessary certificates, reports, relevant documents. If you have not done and you are in the process, you can write down that also. Then whether you have a student council, whether it is formed as per the guidelines of the university, what are the activities conducted, what are the activities and the meeting that have been conducted, you need to give the proof of it. Then there is a student, now see, you are able to see how slowly these policies also come into picture. Student grievances and redressal policy would come into picture. Formation of these committees, proper representation of the in the committee, last 10 cases, activities to create awareness, screenshots, posters, awareness materials, etc. Other committees, cultural committee, sports committee, alumni committee, then engagement, placement, gender, community engagement and outreach activity, academic activity, faculty activity, etc., etc. You need to have the registers and minutes of the meeting of each one of these. Henceforth, you also need to have photographs which are geotagged so that you can give a proof that this meeting has taken place at that particular time. Whether you have a library, yes. Do you have a library policy? Yes. Whether you have a budget to spend on the library, yes. Whether you have automation of library, yes. Whether you have facilities for students and teachers, footfalls, yes. All the yes must come into picture. Whether meetings and decisions, what are the meetings and decisions that have been taken, the proof needs to be given. So whatever you have, infrastructures, spending on infrastructure, how much money has been spent on augmentation and maintenance, whether AMCs are there, whether IT infrastructure is there, whether stock registers for equipment are there, then any other material that you are able to see, which should be a part of infrastructure, that must be mentioned out over here. Then come departmental file, departmental governance. That comes with a course file. Then what does your course file have? Workload, timetable, teaching plan and monthly teaching schedule. Then you are able to see student list, result analysis, examination dates, question bank, question papers, notes, activity planning, practical for the week, practical manuals, practical certification dates, one page document information and its analysis for per student, college website related, that goes with mentoring, college website related material, departmental documents, the list of departmental documents that you are able to see, departmental staff details, appointments, leave record, departmental meetings, teaching feedback, feedback analysis, action taken report, departmental peer assessment for of teaching and its analysis, departmental SWOC, external and internal student feedback on departmental functioning, remedial course and planning and execution, bridge courses, content of the schedule. All these things will come into departmental documents. Then documents about teaching faculty. So full-time faculty, part-time faculty, visiting faculty, CHB faculty, number of years of experience with date of joining, number of PIDs, number of teachers, guides that would come in. Then what kind of research are you doing? Now, we are still looking at the descriptive data. We are still not come to the numerical data that you are able to see. Research projects, number of research papers in Q1, Q2 journals, then book chapters, books with ISBN, papers, full papers published in conference proceedings, IPR, trademarks, copyrights, trademarks, secrets, etc. All this would come into picture. When we come to the numerical data now, see over here, madam was asking, you were asking me. Here, for example, we have a set up a benchmark, student data. Total number of students across all programs, are they more than 80%? This is to be filled up by the college. Total number of sanctioned seats, you have to fill up the details. Percentage of category for minority, it is not applicable, whatever it is. Divyanga student percentage, it should be around 2%. How many do you have? Write down. Then girls to boys ratio, for example, it's a girls college, it would be 100%. Student to teacher ratio, it is 1:20. What is your ratio that is coming up that you will be writing down? Students appeared for final year, more than 98%. This is the benchmark. What is it that you have appeared? Students passed the final year, more than 90%. What is your benchmark that comes into picture? Then you are able to see percentage with who have received fellowships. Are they at least 75%? Percent of fellowship received by the students. Is it 75%? Whether concessions provided by the institution. What is the percentage of concession given? Give that data. Percentage fellowships provided by the institution. Give the data. Kinds of welfare schemes and beneficiaries, 8 to 10%. Then percentage of students participating in cultural events, 8 to 10%. You are able to see this is how the data comes into picture. The number of cultural events conducted in a year, 6 to 8 events. That would mean that at least 60 to 40 to 60 activities. Total number of state, national, international awards, that should be 8 to 10. What is it that you have earned? Percentage of participation of students in gymkhana, sports events, etc. What should be the number? It should be at least 10%. Then number of sports and events in the institution conducted in that year, 4 to 6. Percentage, I'm talking about event. In one event, there are many programs that you are able to see. Then environment related activities, at least more than 8 activities. Cleanliness programs, more than 5 programs. Gender equity programs, more than 5 programs, with 70% of students participating in it. Green plastic clean practice, at least 8 activities and 80% of students. Solar energy on the grid, percentage of electricity provided, you have to give the bill The most recent bill that you are able to see. Percentage of students participating in community activities. More than 60% needs to be there. So for example, you have 100 students. At least 60 to 70 students of yours are going to participate in your activity, which is for the community. So that is how 60 to 70% would come into picture. If everyone is going to do it, then that case it would be 70, more than 60%. How many placements have been done? How many students have progressed to higher education? So here again, you are able to see the benchmark. It is 40%, it is 10%, etc. Then have you conducted any kind of capability enhancement schemes? Like competitive exam, career counseling, remedial coaching, language lab, bridge course, yoga, meditation, personal counseling, anything. More than 80% students have participated into this particular picture. Percentage of students for internship, student field projects on hands-on training for at least 10 to 15 days or 1 month. For all courses where it is mandatory needs to come into picture. Student completing short-term courses, more than 50%. Student registered alumni association, more than 1%. That is more than amount present should be more than 1% of the total budget. That is at least 2 lakh rupees a year. So here you're able to see these are the different benchmarks that you have been given, and you have to check your benchmark and put accordingly whether it is less or more or equal to. Then, how many certificate or degree programs have you conducted? Programs. Number of value-added courses, more than 30 hours or 30 hours and more. Then you are able to see curriculum enrichment provided in the classroom. How much of it has been given, that you need to give the details. Audio visuals, demonstration, that all comes into picture. Teaching methodologies in details, process-based and chalkboard-based teaching methods. You need to give a mention of it. Then you are able to see teachers using ICT for effective learning teaching program that you are able to see. Whether you know PowerPoint, whether you know YouTube visual, whether you know software, whether you know Google and Microsoft applications, whether you have smart boards, whether you have ebooks, all these go with ICT. Then how many ICT enabled classrooms do you have? Here you have a benchmark of 60%. How many course outcomes and program outcomes do you have? Do you prepare program and course outcomes? Give it. Do you map them out? Give it. Do you analyze it and attain it out? Give it. Then average percentage of college students, I mean to say. Then total number of students present, percentage of students enrolled in the first year, percentage of students who have appeared in the final year, total number of students who have passed in the final year. So here you are able to see these are actually the academic points. Then comes passing analysis, distinction, first class, second class, pass class, failed, all this comes into picture. Then you have, does the college analyze its results? How does it analyze? Do you have an academic examination at the end of the year? Then, are the students opting for higher educational studies? Then, whether you are offering them a job placement. Number 4, whether you are providing research assistance in publications. All these parameters will start counting out, and all these parameters are linked to the individual teacher. So this is this one. Yeah, this is a small part that you are able to see that I wanted to make a mention of. With that goes with the teachers. So that's a lot of data. We'll now come to the administrative block also. So, but the teacher needs to keep all the documents properly, all the documents in a proper way. And there is a way by which it gets checked out. For example, first it comes as a information. How many students do you have? That's information. Then what do you go ahead after this information is filled? Next is that fill it in an Excel sheet. That time what is going to happen? The number of students you have, let us say you said 200 students, then here the list is of 200 students. This number is matching up with this list. It doesn't happen that there are 200 students and the list has 222 students. Then it wouldn't match up. So your number is going to match up with your list. and then your list is going to match up with your proof that you're going to give, which is going to have signature of the principal. So that is where you're able to see principal and maybe the coordinator that you're able to see. In this way, the analysis takes place. So this was all about the academic audit. We will now go to the administrative audit. But before that, do you have any questions to ask?
There are a few questions in the chat box.
Okay. Let me look into it. I didn't see any questions in the chat box.
I'd be interested.
Yes, you are there.
Sir, I have a query here. How can we make use of the technology, like it could be any LMS or the ERP, college ERP, or any other digital platform, sir, to simplify the academic process or audit process? How can we integrate that into?
One part was to be that the audit has the data. The audit is going to take the data part of it. This is one part. Second part is that if you have your own LMS or if you have your own ERP, you can suggest the makers of the ERP to set up benchmarks. This is one part by which your auditing becomes very easy. But that would depend on whether they are able to give. Second part is that if you don't have that, this is one thing that you can do. You can set up your benchmarks in an Excel sheet, whereby, for example, if you say total percentage of students need to be more than 80%. Now, 80% how? One is the total number that is coming in. That may be 80%. But now you may be having BA, BCom, BSc computers, and many other branches that are available. Now, at each level, is that getting achieved? For example, you are in computer science. You make a mention saying that my benchmark is, let us say, 80%. I am able to achieve it, but BSc science is not able to achieve. So then in that case, what are those areas where the number is dwindling down? It means those will be the areas which will be told how are you achieving it. So everywhere, when I say total number of students, there would be two columns. Benchmark set is, let us say, 80%. Now, what are you going to say? 80% of the sanctioned strength. Now, for computer science, let us say there are 60 students. All 60 are filled up. Then in that case, it's going to be 100% of achievement. But for BSc zoology or BSc, let us say, the attainment, the achievement is 80%. You have to get 80%. The total number of students is 70%. What would happen? It would happen so that this number is not sufficient. It means that science needs to take effort to see to it that the number of admissions go on increasing. If the admissions are to increase, then what is to be done? It would mean that science will have to see to it that they reach the people, they reach the student, they communicate them that we have science. Our science is going to be useful in this particular way. Maybe it has to conduct some such kind of activities which are useful for 12th standard so that they join your institution. Some or the other way by which you are able to identify what is going on and what action is being taken. That is where your academic audit starts becoming successful and it becomes a continuous process. I'll give one more example. Let us say you have to conduct 30 lectures for every course. Total number of available lectures is 28 only, not 30 only. If it's an affiliated college, many a times it is only 28 and not 30, 25 and not 30, but you're supposed to take 30 lectures. Now here the number of lectures is benchmark 30 by the government or by the university. You are conducting 25 lectures. There are holidays, there are so many things that are coming up. How are you going to make that the 30 is achieved? That is where your audit is getting successful. I hope I've tried to answer your question. Is it answered?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll come to the best practices also, definitely. Okay. So, any questions on academics as such? Otherwise, we'll go to administration.
So please, do you have any other
Sir,
queries?
ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, sir, this is a common question, sir. How to balance? Kindly share how to balance the teaching effectiveness and documentation work.
Okay. One part is if you have a plan of your activities, documentation becomes easy. What happens is we have a plan for the activities, but we don't have a plan for documentation. I'll give you one example. Last time we have seen documentation. When the activity is going on at that time only, we had started documenting it out. And I had, in the format I had given you, I tried to make a mention saying that before the activity begins, during the activity, and after the end of the activity. So if your documents are ready or are being made simultaneously, you need far lesser time for documentation. But most of the times, what happens? For example, this activity is being conducted. Now, Radha Madam has said that, sir, you will be conducting the session. You have given me a letter. Now, after the session is over, now if I start finding the letter, then if I start collecting the letter, then I will start taking, I want to take the screenshot. Then I have kept the screenshot somewhere. Now, if I start doing this activity after, long after the activity is over, after 2 days, 4 days, then in that case, we start losing on the documents. This minute when people are there, if immediately a feedback form is sent, the feedback is being taken there itself. The feedback is getting analyzed over there itself. So here you are able to see the feedback activity is over. All that you need to do is to come to a summary, looking at what the statements have been done. Maybe the people here are saying, oh, this was a very useless session. It means next time we am not to call this person. Or why is it that they are saying it useless? Whether they have not understood it, or whether they have understood it, or they are avoiding it, or what is the issue. So you are able to see there itself the document is getting ready. If that process is done there itself, then in that case we need lesser time to prepare a document because your documents are already coming into picture. Second part is that we have documentation, but we don't have a mechanism to keep the documents properly. Very often I find this is a big thing that teachers face. They prepare the document and keep it anywhere. For example, there is a physical session that is taking place. You have taken the attendance and you have kept it in one file. Now you are not able to find the file. So you say, we will give the document later on. I have prepared a signature list, but I did not prepare a format for it. So there is one thing. For example, there are colleges where you are able to see they prepare the format. They have prepared all kinds of formats and they have put it on the website. They say if you are going to conduct this activity, it means that you have to go to the website, you have to download those necessary documents, document formats. They would be filled up, and it could be hard, it could be soft, and they would be submitted. So here you are able to see you are cutting down on time. Many a times we don't have standardized formats. If I am conducting this activity, then I need a standard format. If I am conducting an activity, I need to take attendance, I need a standard format. If we don't have these standard formats, then in that case, we start losing on time. And then after completing the activity, it becomes very difficult for us to complete that, to do the time. It's just like, you have a party at your place, and then in that case, the party goes very well, but dishwashing is a big issue. So if you don't have a mechanism whereby the dish is going to get washed very quickly, then the party becomes a very dull issue after the party gets over. So it's the same as the logic over here. So documentation takes time only if we don't plan a document in advance. What are those documents that I need? I need these 5 documents. These 2 documents are going to be before the activity begins. These 3 documents are during the activity. And let us say there is a 6th document that comes in, let's say feedback that is going to take place after the activity, or a report that is going to take place after the activity. If I plan it out in this way, I need less time. Rather than second part, can you formatize it up? Many things can be formatted. You have to write down a little bit only over there. Then also things can be very easy. When you conduct these meetings, for example, if you have a meetings register and that register has a printed format, notice of the meeting 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Then you are able to see agenda of the meeting 1, 2, 3 points. Then you are able to see space kept over there, agenda. Then you are able to see minutes of the meeting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not more than 10 lines kept. And then you are able to say action taken. Maybe you have to write it down and necessary proofs have to be kept down. So then in that case, the format itself is telling these are the things that have to be done, and you have taken the necessary decision, you write it down over there only. If we don't do that, then we start losing on the documents, and then documentation becomes a big problem. So all those people who do it that minute, time reduces. This is one part. Second part, if you have prepared formats for it, a Thanksgiving letter. What is the issue? I have seen some institutions who have a Thanksgiving letter and they have a color printer also. They just give an instruction, Thanksgiving, just change 1, 2, 3 places. They just give those places, it gets fitted out over the ready-made letter comes in, the principal signature is taken, a black and white copy is available, black and sign on the black and white copy is taken, the paper is folded, put into a folder and given to me. Sir, thank you so much. This is the invitation. This is thanks letter. You have a standard format as to how much money is going to be given, especially when small lectures are being conducted. You have, let us say, a brochure or some mechanism to be filled up. You have it goes to. Once you have done those formats, then things becomes very easy. So try to formatize it. Try to bring uniformity in your documentation. Try to see to it that what activity you are going to do. Before that, only some documentation can be done. For example, you are conducting this activity, you know there is an introduction, you know there is a guest, you know that the what do you say, the introduction of the guest is to be done. You have all these documents right now with you. You can always store it out. So here your time span has been cut down. So those many documents have got ready right now. But if we don't do it that minute, then it becomes very difficult. Oh my goodness, now I have to do 10 documents. Then it is not the worked out. So there are so many people. I like to share one thing. When I was an IQC coordinator, I found out that there was one lady teacher. I don't know if I told you this story. At the end of the year, I used to ask her documents and ask everyone to document. This lady used to sweat out. My goodness, sir, you have asked for document. Tomorrow is the last day. I'm not able to find out. She would literally sit down on the floor. She would collect all the files and then start finding out where the document is kept. Now, what was the problem? The problem was she used to keep the document anywhere. She used to conduct a very large number of activities. She was extremely popular a teacher. She used to prepare the documents also, but she was never sure where she has kept it. So what did we do? I looked at this issue and then she would say, my BP had increased because of you, this has happened. See, there has to be someone to be cursed out. IQC coordinator is the best person. So you are able to see she would curse the IQC. And in that case, what I did was next year, I purchased folders, plastic folders, which are big enough, 60, 70, that time 80 rupees folder. And I gave one folder to everyone and told them you have to keep your documents inside this. This lady accepted it. It was a colored folder. It could be located out from anywhere. And then she started putting all her documents in that folder. Once the activity is done, it could be a loose paper, put it inside. It could be a ready-made or completely prepared document, put it inside. Next year, when the document was asked, she said, I had to search only for 1 hour. I did not have to spend 6 hours working on it. So it is not only creation of the document, retrieval of the document, storage of the document. These are the 3 areas where time gets consumed. So therefore, unless you plan for it, I always make a mention. Since I love cooking, so my examples keep on going on with cooking only. Preparation time is often more than the actual cooking time. So you will be able to see, to prepare a delicate vegetable that is to be prepared, you need to clean the vegetable, process it very well. But once all that has been done, the vegetable gets cooked in 10 minutes. So same is the logic that applies over here. Because we don't start preparing early for documentation, therefore we start losing on documentation. Believe me, good institutions lose 20% on documentation. Average institutions lose more than 40% of documentation, as a result of which teachers start becoming negligent and then say documentation is not wanted, for which activity is not wanted, for which they will say, I have this document, if you want to take, you take, if you don't want to take, you don't take. If you set up a process over here where every month or every 2 months, what document you have done, you are going to comment. Activity that you have done, you are going to show your document, complete your document, take the signature on the document. It will be hardly 10-minute job. It won't be a big job. This is what I've tried to answer it out. I don't know if you're satisfied with it. But planning is the key for sure. That makes a big difference.
Sir, in addition to what you told and what ma'am asked, like we have here in our college, like IQC has given common template or design probably for invitations, sir, for all kind of activities. So, like I have a query here at this stage whether it could be a common design, whether it may be FDP or it may be a workshop, or do we have to change it according to the program to show some differentiation? Like
The number one is that if the format is if the format is sufficing your needs, you don't need to change the format. But it is quite possible that you have a very different kind of activity. The cover sheet is okay, but that there are some additional 2 or 3 documents that you need. Those documents can be added up. If you if you feel that that particular document is not suiting, then it's a different issue. Just because it looks all common, therefore, but there would be a document number that can come. The document has a title that is going to come. You're going to fill up. If it looks uniform, it is not an issue. If it is going to be, if you feel that you're, for example, we are conducting in the classroom, you are conducting an activity whereby it is student learning, self-learning, something like this. Then in that case, you want to show that it's an activity done by the teacher. The student is being supported by the teacher, for which some different documents are coming into picture. Then in that case, those documents would get created out. The cover list would remain the same. Then in that case, you can always add up that these are the additional documents that have come up. If you do that, that's absolutely okay. There is no need to show that I'm creating something different every time. By doing this, so actually it becomes a problem, because then in that case the uniformity of the documentation procedure is getting lost out. If the document is not sufficing, then in that case you can go for a new document. Otherwise, follow it out. See, introduction is going to be there, objective is going to be there, outcome is going to be there, method is going to be there. These are blank spaces. Maybe the document that you need, attendance is going to be there. Then in that case, maybe photos are going to be there, geotag photos are going to be there. Then in that case, some other kind of such kind of documents or report is going to be there. These 5-6 documents are already there. It's quite possible that you may need 1 or 2 different documents. You can prepare it and add it to the list. If they have given a list, then you can add it to the list and the story gets over. Yeah. Have I answered your question? I don't know.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Sure.
There are few questions in the chat box, sir.
Yeah.
Please suggest the best practices for reporting placement
We
data
will
to
come
lab.
to it. We will
Okay,
come
sir.
to it. Let me just finish it. Let me finish this off first. We have seen some of the what do you say, academic component. Now let us go to the administrative component. Now administrative component would go with the office primarily, majority. For example, fees collection, roll call. If you have an ERP, then in that case, fee collection, roll call. Then general register is needed about students. Then whether your LC is computerized. Nowadays, it is called computerized. Then extension and continuation of affiliation, whether affiliation is taking place and how is it going on. Then selection, advertisement, and interview process, whether the advertisement draft is approved by the university. Whether you have to look into what that process is there or not there. Advertisement in, let us say, 2 newspapers, regional and English. Selection committee is required from the university if it is required. If it's not required, it's a different case. Whether joint director nominates a government nominee, that's the way the process happens to be. Whether the interview is being called properly, whether because you find sometimes you have walk-in interview. Then whether the interview chart has been prepared, whether a selection committee has been prepared. So these are the process that you are able to see. Then when you come to teaching staff approval, selection is done, report is sent, management resolutions are done, appointment letter is given, resume letter from the employee has been taken, university approval draft has been done, approval of copy from the university is done, joint director is there for fixation of the salary, confirmation of the position has been done. Then in case there is a cash promotion to come in, then in that case, whether that is being done as per the procedure. Then non-teaching staff appointments, whether all these aspects are there, NOC has been taken, newspapers print has been done, interviews have been taken, management resolution, appointment letter, joint director approval draft, etc., etc. All this comes into picture. Whether you have provided your data to DHE, that is, for example, this is from Maharashtra. So whether it is provided to Aishi and whether it is provided to the University MIS, we collect that data. So accordingly, it would come. Then in that case, whether AISHE data has been filled up, done or not done, whether your service books, leave records, they are in place or not, whether your admission procedures, how are their admission procedures, where do you fill up the pre-admission forms, whether you have online admissions, confirmation of admissions is done. Then how is your enrollment, eligibility and migration process? Has are you do you look into it? If there is a provision of provisional admissions, are you doing it? Are you providing provisional eligibility certificate? If there is a migrations, are you preparing a migration certificate if it is needed by the student? Then what kind of examination system do you have? If you have multiple questions on this particular, then you are able to see whether all the universities are conducted by the university for UG courses, for PG courses. Then what kind of semester examination do you have? What kind of hall ticket, whether you have a hall ticket, whether you have attendance sheet, whether you have supervisor report, whether you have printing of the blank mark list, whether you have results status, when is it published. All these details come into picture. Then you are able to see officers' transcripts, whether those fees are collected. This number may change, 500 rupees is here. Whether bona fide certificate is issued, whether money is taken for it, then whether there are bus concessions and railway concessions, whether there are, government scholarships and free ships, whether you have filled up all the necessary details, whether you have all the proofs of it or not. Then whether you have non-government scholarships and free ships, if any, then give what effort are you taking to see to it that the students are getting the benefit. Then you're able to see, do you have inward and outward registers? Are they digital registers? Do you have dead stock registers? Then are you maintaining the minutes of the meetings of various committees that you're able to see? Do you have records of computers, printers, laptops, scanners? Whether purchases are being done properly, whether new purchases are numbered down. Then you are able to see accounts and finance section, whether a cash book is there, a ledger is there, a salary is there, registers are there, salary bills are there, vouchers are there, receipt books are there, fee registers are there. Then whether accounts are maintained in Tally, whether vouchers are printed from Tally software, whether because it comes with a number, whether salary register of full-time faculty, non-teaching are maintained, whether fee receipts are printed from the customized software, whether fee register is maintained in an Excel format. So all these aspects start coming into picture and we check out all these aspects. So when all these have been done, then you are able to see workloads come into picture. College budget and audited balance sheet comes into picture. Then you are able to see teachers workload, classroom timetables, all these pictures come into picture, whether it is as per the university guidelines. Then maintenance contracts, how many maintenance contracts do you have? That comes into picture. Then you are able to see what are the welfare measures that you are able to see. These are some of the examples that I have tried to give you. Whether what are the workshops attended by the non-teaching staff, What are the workshops attended by the teaching staff? All this picture comes into picture. Then you are able to see, after going through this, the auditor prepares a SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges. This is a big document that comes into picture. And then he gives his recommendations on this. In case there are any, you have done any previous audit, it goes with a compliance, whether you have done the previous audit, have you complied with it, that needs to be shown out. This is how a particular format is created for this particular, what do you say, for this particular mechanism. That's what it comes into picture. So now these are some of the questions that come into picture. Now you were talking about the best practices. What are the best practices that you are able to see with respect to, just 1 minute, what's your question? What are the best practices followed by top performing HEIs with respect to academic and administrative audits? Okay. One part is when you're talking about a best practice with respect to academic and administrative audits, how quickly are they complying with it? This is the big part that comes into picture. For example, I'll give you one example. We had conducted an academic and administrative audit for a very big brand institution called Sophia College in Mumbai. And what was told to them was that you need to create, they had a, what to say, an ERP, but the ERP did not have that facility. But they had an excellent technical team. They were told to create a student page which would go with a mentor. So every mentor and a student page, a digital page that would get created. They created that digital page. And then once that was done, they immediately showed it. That came out in 2 days only. Sir, we want to comply with it before the NAC comes. Then we said that this is not a interactive page. The student should be able to post a question. The teacher should be able to answer the question. You should be able to give what the student is learning, in which class he or she, in which class she is. It's again, it was a girls' college. In which class is that girl working? Which courses is she having? Which courses is she studying? In which courses she has not passed? For example, there's a backlog that is remaining. When are the examinations to be conducted? They did all that. And they created those pages whereby a student could could upload her own picture. She could give whatever query she wanted. That query would go to the necessary mentor. And there was a section, whether it goes with the administration, it goes with the mentor, or it goes with the class teacher. Accordingly, it would go over there. And then in that case, it would get sorted out. The net result was, in the next 6 months of time, they had a very large number of queries. The students were asking queries. So what happened was, it was not only the queries it was not only that the problem got sorted out, but also at the same time, what big change came into picture was, they were able to take care of the problem that the students had. So when we talk about, how are you responding to the problem that the students are facing, they could tell that this query has been sorted out. This is what has been done. The student has said thank you. Or there were some common complaint, that grievances that you are able to see, the grievances could be taken care of. They could sort out the grievances, and they could even analyze the grievances, saying that these are the 20 types of grievances that are very common, that come from our students. We have taken an action on this. This is where the academic audit becomes becomes a best practice. So this is one example that I can give, which I have seen by my own eyes. There was a query that had come in with respect to one of the Mumbai colleges, where students made a mention during the audit. They said that it takes too much of time on the administrative windows. Students have lesser time, and the office is open during that time only. So two things came into picture. The office hours were changed. They were increased so that they could take the queries of students. Second part is, they had created a one window system. whereby wherever you go, these are the 10 areas that you are able to see on this window. Furthermore, they also looked into the point that the queries get sorted out, and if that person is not there, even then, the one who's going to sit knows what action is to be taken. So something like these things can be done, and there you are able to see an academic audit can be extremely useful. Yeah. Any other question to come in?
Yes, sir. Few questions in the chat box, sir.
Okay.
Shall I read, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, could you highlight some best practices followed by top
I
performing
made a mention
institutions?
just now that
Okay.
reporting
What are the
placement
challenges?
data. Okay, okay.
Okay. Next question. What are the challenges institutions face while implementing AA recommendations, and how can they be overcome?
One thing is, once the recommendations are given by AAA, the recommendations are first discussed with the principal. They don't come all of a sudden. I may give a recommendation saying that you need to create a 20-storied building. It is not possible. It will be downright rejected, and the auditor who's giving suggestion has to give a meaningful suggestion. I'll give you one more example. There is an institution called as DYPIMS over here, DY Patil Institute of Management Studies. I was a external auditor over there for their audit. And then in that case, the previous recommendation was that they should start some UGC courses. Now, it is an institution that is being run by AICT. How can a UGC course go over there? It cannot. So I asked them, then what about this particular? He said, sir, I said, but you are an MBA institute and you are an AICT run. Then how did you accept this suggestion? This suggestion itself cannot be accepted because a UGC course cannot run in AICT institution. So you are able to see when the suggestions are given, those suggestions are discussed with the principal. The principal has a right to call the IQAC also. The principal will and the IQAC can sit together. The auditors will tell this is the report. The team will read the report, should read the report. The team should say that the suggestion that you are giving is not valid, or you're saying that this suggestion is there, but if it is not a proper suggestion, it will not be counted. Second part is that there are suggestions. For example, I will make a mention. There was a college where you are able to see money is taken by the teachers. In an administrative audit, what was found out was money is taken by the teachers to conduct the activity. However, the what do you say, after conducting the activity, the accounts have not been settled out. These were small accounts, 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, but they were not settled out. So here you are able to see that this needs to be done. So there is no issue. Then in that case, the principal came up with a letter saying that these accounts need to be settled down within next 15 days, or else your salary will be held. Now here the action can be taken very quickly. So look at the what is asked. For example, the number of slow achiever students is very less, is very high. It means that the intake may not be very good, or the action taken is not going to be very strong. You need to create a good academic mechanism whereby students are able to get good marks. So what is it that has been asked is going to decide how to achieve it out. Something will be time bound. It is necessary that the suggestion given by the auditor needs to be of such type that can be complied with respect to time. Yeah. Any others?
Yes, sir. Thank you. One more question, sir.
Yeah.
Can the audit for the administrative be carried out by the professors, or it should be some external body, sir?
See, there are two types of audits. Internal audits can be conducted by IQS, rule number one. But internal audits are only to see to it that the mechanism is complying, the mechanism is going on. Internal audit will get counted out for sure. Internal audit will get counted out for sure. However, the audit internal audit gets counted. However, NAC doesn't count the internal audit. It says that you have done internal audit, that's a good thing. But when it comes to an audit, it's the external audit that is going to get counted out. So an internal audit is to see to it that the processes are running. An external audit goes with benchmarking. It would say that these benchmarks, whether they are being achieved or not. So in other words, internal audits will also promote benchmarking. That's what it means. So what external audits will be counted, and you need to take an external auditor only. The one who is going to give you a report, the one who is going to give you an, maybe if it's a certifying agency, a certificate that would get counted. For example, we are a certifying agency also. Yeah. Any other questions, doubts that you have?
Yes, sir, one more question, sir.
Yes, please.
Suggest the best practices for reporting placement data, sir.
You need to have a strong mechanism. This is the first point that comes into picture. You best practice, what would a best practice be for reporting the placement data? The best practice for reporting the placement data is collecting the data first. Second part is preserving the data properly, analyzing the data, looking that your data is with necessary proofs. For example, I'm just giving you one example. 3 students have got placed in a particular interview that was conducted in your institution. Now they have got offer letters. So your best practice is to see to it that those offer letters are available with you. Second part, now how many of them have given a joining letter to them? Now they will not give you the joining letter. Your students will say, why should I give you joining letter? They will not give a joining letter. Then in that case, what? Then in that case, can you tell the company that since you have come on our campus, those 3 students who have joined, you need to give me a letter saying that these students have joined. Why students will not give you the joining letter? They say it has a salary component. There, can you make a mention saying that these 3 students have been joined on a pay scale of dash. The proof becomes a very solid proof that these are the 3 students who have joined from this particular institution and that company has chosen you. Now what we do over here is that we take a offer letter. The student may join or student may not join. Sometimes you find multiple offer letters coming to the same student because she is smart. So then in that case, which offer letter are you going to accept it out? Therefore, the strong proof would be either a joining letter. If you don't have a joining letter, can you request the company? Second part, when you are inviting the company on the to the institution, can you give a clause saying that in case students are selected, after they join, we request you to please give us a letter which makes a mention that in this particular interview held on so and so date or so and so dates, these students have been selected, finalized, and they are going to have a salary of so and so. If that can be done, that is one best practice that can come into picture. But we need to maintain the data. We need to see to it that there's one thing, or we need to have a separate placement email so that all the letters that get sent out and all the data that comes in comes on a specific email. So collecting it becomes very easy. The data that you have given, the preparation that you have done, do you have all the documents of it? You need to see to it that the documents, see to it that there are multiple preparations that are done before any company is invited. Very often we say the company is coming, but the student does not know how to write down a resume. The student does not know how to prepare a resume. The student does not know what to talk about. The student does not know the etiquettes of what to wear. So all these aspects start working out. And therefore, we need to see to it that one of the best practices preparing them before inviting. After the invitation, see to it that the necessary documents are collected and see to it that it has been authenticated by the company that yes, these people have been taken out. Then it becomes a best practice. Yeah. Any other question?
Participants, do you have any other queries?
I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, sir.
The session was very informative.
Yeah. Yes.
Good evening to one and all. On behalf of IQAC of Sri Krishnaswamy College for Women, I would like to thank everyone who made today's virtual workshop on academic audit a resounding success. Our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed resource person, Mr. Piyush M. Pahade, for sharing his deep knowledge and practical strategies on academic audit, scope of the audit, governance policies, internal and external audit benchmarks. Your session has not only clarified the critical aspects but also motivated us to work towards institutional excellence. We are grateful to our respected directors, Shri K.B.K. Rajmohan, Shri K.B. Arun, and Shri K.B. Krishnanand for their continued guidance and encouragement. A special word of gratitude to our principal, Dr. Anita Rajendran ma'am, whose vision and constant support inspired us to pursue quality in all our endeavors. I must also acknowledge our IQAC coordinator, Dr. J. Radha, for her meticulous planning and dedicated efforts that ensured the smooth conduct of this workshop. A big thank you to the IQAC team for their active participation and collaborative spirit. And to all our faculty participants, thank you for your presence, enthusiasm, and meaningful contributions. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Yeah. Thank you so much. Please to input the board. Any feedbacks in case you have, you can give feedback or we can stop here for the day.
Sure, sir. We will let you know the feedbacks.